Green, green, green.
Gentlemen.
Good evening. See, Scott's mom.
Speaking of Southampton, well, welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News. This week we got a good show tonight. We have Chris Fleming, the showstopper from, what'd you say the show was?
Madhouse.
The Madhouse from Bowman Gray Stadium. We've got to get to Bowman Gray.
I want to get there bad. That's one of the things I wanted to do so bad last year, and something came up and I couldn't go.
Right.
And I want to get there so bad. The racing, they say, is secondary to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Then next we have Frank Deiny, longtime driver. I think he's the one, in my opinion, I think kind of started the whole you bring some money and we have a late model team and we'll put you in good equipment and instead of doing it all yourself, and had some really good equipment. Deiny, Willis Jr. I'm not sure who is he.
He is a late model driver out at South Boston Speedway, and he was running late models for a while, and then he got out of racing. He came back and was running limited late models at South Boston. This year he moved up to late models again and just won his first race the other night. So, and then we have Stefan Parsons, who is
Phil Parsons' son, right?
Phil Parsons' son. He's part of the Brian Keselowski
ARCA team.
Yeah, well, not ARCA, but I think he does a late model for him. And he runs on the Cars Tour. He runs on the Cars Tour.
I understand Brian's a pretty good chassis guy, a good crew chief.
And Brian could have had that race won this weekend at Toledo, but
Yes.
got a little penalty there and didn't. And then we'll end the show tonight with Ed Heinz, and he has got some big stuff going on down at Charlotte on Friday. We'll have him on to talk about it, and Scott and I are going to be there Friday.
Yeah. So if
be
you're going to be
this.
in Charlotte, go by the Harley Davidson dealership on Friday. They've got a big thing going. I mean, they're going to have 50 Hall of Famers there. So, I mean, the list is huge, and the amount of stuff will be there. And
one of the things I wanted to start off the show with tonight, Bassett Racing had a big fire this past weekend.
They lost everything.
They lost the whole thing, cars, equipment, everything. But a big shout out to David Calabrese and Rick Godovic, because they have given them a car to drive at Dominion this coming weekend. I think Dylan is going to be in Rick's car.
Yeah.
And the other one is going to be, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But
I could have told you. Ronnie
Bassett, yeah.
Ronnie Bassett Jr.
He's going to be in David Calabrese's car. One of the things that's going on, go ahead and put your dig in now, because I know you want to, that Kevin Harvick is staying at Stewart Hall.
Put a dig in? I was right.
Yeah, you were right. But well, I'm not going to say the things I did hear about that whole thing. But anyway, he's staying. He signed a contract extension.
Yeah, but how many times you hear a bunch of stuff going on in communications, and the next thing you know, an announcement comes out, and all that stuff that was going on before is just forgotten. It never even happened.
Yeah. That's what they're trying to say.
I'm not going to give you a pass, but
anyway, the races this past weekend at Charlotte, the truck race, Matt Crafton won the truck race.
I mean, there was some good racing this weekend.
Oh, man. Did you see that showdown race?
I didn't get to watch the showdown race.
I'm going to tell you.
I watched that last little bit between Kyle Larson and the 24. Dude, that was fun to watch.
And there was no holding Kyle Larson back. He was going to win that. And the first thing he said was, hey, I had to win it. Because he knew he wasn't going to get in on the fan vote. He had to win the race. But look, I think it was even in the first segment of the showdown when Trevor Bayne won the showdown. Man, he put his car, he just decided, okay, I got to do something too, and he just stuck it between two cars, and off he went.
I was surprised the 3 wasn't. I thought the 3 was going to be one of the cars. I thought him and the 24 were going to be the cars to beat in that race. But I tell you what, Kyle Larson has finished second last 2 weeks. Has stepped up.
And Logano wins the All-Star race, and I'm not sure if Kyle Larson's car had been just a little bit better. He may have had something for him at the end of that race.
Larson's been a little nicer than I would have been.
Well, that's going to run out eventually.
I know, though, Matt, the other week at Dover, Matt is a really nice guy. And although for my first win, I'd have moved him. I wouldn't have wrecked him, but I'd have daggone sure roughed him up a little bit. I'd have rattled his cage.
And, of course, Danica made the fan vote, and this year she was second. She wasn't the first one.
So Chase was first.
Chase was first. So Danica was not the first one.
I was doing a lot of voting for Matt Battadeno. I was hoping I knew he was in the top 5.
I voted a few times for him, too. He finished third.
That's big.
That's third. He finished third. The ARCA race at Toledo, Myatt Snyder won the race. That's Marty Snyder's son that works for NASCAR, works for NBC now.
Okay, yeah, could be. Yeah.
And so he won that race. Our girl Natalie Decker.
She's like 3 in 9 days or something. 2 this weekend.
She won Friday night at State Park Speedway in Wisconsin in a super late model, and then won Saturday night at Marshfield Speedway in a super late model. So she is, I was always kind of thinking maybe she,
didn't quite got it,
but she don't look like a race car driver.
No, she does not.
So
she does not.
But she's showing she can do the job. And by the way, next week we're going to have Taylor Robbins on the show. Taylor Robbins won a race at Bowman Gray the same weekend that Chris Fleming won.
So it must have been a fluke that weekend.
No, it was. This is not in a. This is not a modified. This was in a sportsman car or something.
Okay.
But she's the first ever woman to win a race at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Okay.
So
pretty cool.
She's going to be on the show next week. Steve Zuskin won the late model race at Southside. Probably the only track that ran this weekend. I know Dominion didn't run.
Yeah, there was a lot of rain this weekend,
and I'm not sure whether South Boston didn't run. And Maddie Ryan, got to talk about Maddie because we talk about her every week because she's one of my favorite people. I don't know about you. Yeah, she is. But she got a new crew chief this week, Mark Culp. So when I made the comment last week, the only thing holding her back was her dad.
Maybe she took that literally.
Somebody did. Somebody took it literally because now he's been replaced. But don't forget, though, Tracy, you still got to pay the bills.
Yeah, Dixieland ran.
Oh, they did?
Gary wants to know, so what's up with Jack? You coming to Florence?
I told him I was going to try to see if I can work that out. I would love to go to Florence. I'd love to see you. I'd love to go down there and see the Florence Flash.
You better hold on. Comment on the other one on the page there, Gary.
And
we'll see that one easier.
By the way, we're also we have a little thing going every week about picking our winners. Where's Clayton? He's not with us yet?
He said he ain't talking trash yet because he's only going to be halfway through the show.
Okay. Well, I remember that. We'll talk about it again, but I won again this week. And I took the lead, so that's all.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
God. I can't wait till next week.
But going to be a big weekend for us this weekend down at Charlotte. We're going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Their racing was great this weekend, so I can't wait for the 300 and then the 600. We got a lot lined up. We're going to go have dinner with Sam Bass. That's going to be a lot of fun, and go over and see his place again and maybe get a behind-the-scenes tour of how he starts and how it ends up on paper and where he goes from there. That's going to be really cool. We got a big event on Friday to go to, which Ed will talk about.
And I can't wait for that. I wanted to go last year and it didn't work out for us, and being able to go this year is a big deal. And Ed and them have looked out for us. They're going to put us up there and have us be a part of that, and we're going to be able to do some interviews and everything there for that.
Second one, though, is Kyle Larson always going to be a bridesmaid? I think he's going to get tired of being a bridesmaid there, Chuck. I think he tried like heck to hold Joey off last week, but Joey was coming.
He just didn't have the car at the end of that race to do it.
I think he stretched out and wore stuff out trying to stay ahead. He was just And it wasn't from a lack of effort.
Now, somebody asked about Southampton Speedway. What was that about?
It said, speaking of Southampton, any news on that? Well, apparently something was just posted out on Wavy TV 10. We haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what that was about. Supposedly they have plans for 2016. So maybe go over and look on Wavy TV 10 and let us know. Ian, I'm not sure I'm saying that wrong. Ryan Hudgens, when are you going to get on the show? Yeah, this one is better, Gary.
Well, who's Ryan Hutchins?
Said he never heard of it until now. If it's the Ryan Hudgens that I race with, it could be. No, don't know that Ryan Hudgens.
Thank goodness, ain't one you race with.
Somebody races at Virginia Motor Speedway. So Ryan, maybe we will have you on the show. We've been doing a dirt series with Matt last week. Said we need to get some more dirt guys on. Matt, what was Matt's?
Ashworth.
Yeah, Matt Ashworth. I just seen him post a video earlier where they were doing some testing down there. So Matt, maybe get in contact with me or Jack, and you can be our next dirt guy from Ryan. Sorry.
Let me know. We'll try to get you on as soon as we can.
Apparently, you're famous.
Yeah, somebody.
People are asking about you to get on the show.
Back to the Southampton thing for just 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hold your breath yet, okay?
Oh,
because I want to see something come out and say, this is what we got. I understand that a lot of people now have backed away from the track because there's no insurance at all up there, and they're scared to get hurt, and there's snakes and all kinds of stuff up there they were dealing with.
Yeah, that I'm not surprised about.
And everybody backed away from it, wanting to know what her plans are for that, and she will not answer. She's blocked a half a dozen people, and more than that, she blocked a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, that's not very good.
And the bad part about it, her sister's even talking trash about it. So I don't understand where all this is going. I would love to see a clarification. I want that track open just as much as anybody else does, but I want to see some clarification, and I would like for her to come out and say, all right, this is what I've got. Well,
we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not going to go any further.
Ian said 2015 limited stock champion, 2015 track champion, opening up with the win this year, I guess, for Ryan Hudgens. Like I said, Ryan, get up with us, and we'll have the 2015 VMS limited stock champion on the show.
All right, well, we might as well go ahead and get started and go ahead and get up with the showstopper, because we may not be able to shut him up towards the end. Yeah. I like this guy, man. He's really...
He's all right.
Y'all go ahead and keep talking. I got to write this down.
I was sign language to him.
Sign language to who?
Whoever was watching. I think Pepsi gives us drinks to drink. So if you're by the store, get you a Pepsi. We're going to have, man, that's going to be hard. That Coca-Cola 600, we're going to have to sneak our Pepsis on there.
They're giving us the way to enter the racetrack. I'm going to drink the Coke while I'm not going to.
I want to thank Zim's Foundation. Please go to Zim's Foundation. You can find them on my page. They support us. They've supported my racing for several years. It's a great cause. They raise money for MS. If you know the Zimmerman name, it's Ryan Zimmerman. He's the first baseman for the Nationals. His mom has MS real bad, so please go to their page and like it. Chris Fleming's Modified Driver.
Great cause. They raise money for MS.
Hey, what's going on, man?
So you're watching.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, I heard all over. The next time I see him, I'm gonna throat punch him.
Hey, it was kind of funny though. I dialed.
He did slap me twice before I got on there.
Hey, but you know what's funny though is I call you, and then the first thing I hear is Scott's voice. Now that kind of scared me there for a second. Well, look.
That's all right.
Hey, look, man.
It's good to be hated on.
Hey, that's right.
Well, look. Tell us about that big win you had the other day, man. I tell you, I was so excited about it. I don't know if everybody else was, but
Old people rule, man. Ain't you heard that?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, but I'm one of them old people, so I'm being told.
I've decided I'm going to send my return. We got a new grandbaby, and I want to spend some time with him. And I decided I'm just going to run the long races this year. We're still doing the tour with my son he won't drive the tour car no more. He's been real busy with his job and stuff, and he don't like the deal with NASCAR or a lot of the stuff that it seems like it don't matter how talented you are, it's how much money you got. And so, he just won't drive the car anymore. But he did run Bowman Gray last 2 weeks ago. The car had been sitting on jack stands for 2 or 3 years, and Frank carried him down in that car, and at the end of the race, he had a shot at winning it. So,
Dang.
Well,
pretty awesome.
well, it's got to be good for you to get back in victory lane again and be all happy and everything.
Yeah, it was good. The car was I really been working hard on my chassis stuff, and Frank and I are doing our own front clips now, and it's really helped us. The stuff we've got is different than everybody else's. We've got our own jig here now, and we're changing the clips on the car, and it's evident. On the tour, really we should be 2 for 4. We got beat on green white checkers and Hurst there, but we could have easily done 1-2 tour races with Deiny Bone. I'm gonna tell you something, man. That car at Bowman Gray stayed in the middle of the night. You couldn't rank the car. It's pretty, I ain't the best driver in the world, and I've never seen nobody. Good God, man, the thing, all you do is just throttle the thing up. Man, it'll run.
So, who's your main competition out there at Bowman Gray?
What'd you say, Jack?
I said, who's your main competition this year out there at Bowman Gray? Same people?
It's the same people. There is more talent at Bowman Gray than any track in the nation. I don't care what anybody says. You got Tim Brown, Lee Jeffries, Randy Butler, the Myers brothers. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's just, you can't pick any, and I won't leave somebody out. Guys, don't take it to heart. It's just hard for me to think. Dean Ward, Dean Ward, I don't know what he would do if he had tons of money. The guy, I put a camera on the back of my car, and I was running second. I didn't even know Dean was behind me. But he was up to my quarter panel probably 50 times. And when I watched that film and watched Dean, how he controlled his car, the man's amazing. He's got a couple of boys that are driving too, but I mean, there's just so much talent at Bowman Gray. Everybody loves to run there because, there's 15, 16, 17,000 people every Saturday night. And let me tell you something about the girl. I heard Scott slapped on her a little bit. Let me tell you about her. I raced with her daddy.
Okay.
This girl could have easily won 5 races. They have bumped her, pushed her, shoved her. Saturday night when she won, I was watching the race. They was hitting her under caution, trying to get in her head. I'm gonna tell you something. I think when she woke up that morning, she'd made her mind up. I don't care how much shit they throw at me, I ain't taking it.
Well, good for her.
Dude, she flat laid a whooping on them boys.
Well, we're going to have her on next week, and I tell you what, I can't wait because that's got to be a big deal for her to go down there and win that race down at Bowman Gray.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, being the first woman to
Hey,
win.
dude. Hey, she's pretty. She's not ugly. She's pretty. You hardly ever, you got Danica, she can't drive a lick. This girl's pretty, and she can drive.
Well, we need to get her moved up so we can get her to NASCAR.
Well, like I said, get back to the talent deal. I don't care how talented you are, it's how much money you got now. So that's what's killed the sport. That's the reason there's nobody in the grandstands.
Yeah.
At least when they come to Bowman Gray Stadium, they know that just about every single driver there built their own car, and that's the reason they come.
Well,
people's tired of big motor homes and pretty faces. They want to see a man change a motor, set his car up, and get out and kick everybody's butt.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to get to Bowman Gray. I have been about to die to get there, and last year we were coming, and something happened. I couldn't make it, and I tell you, I got to get down there. I want to see the racing. I want to see the racing down there.
Jack, by the time you get here, I'm gonna need a walker, man.
Hey, that ain't that far away.
Hey, I'm gonna come by you tomorrow evening, but I'm going to Fredericksburg, Virginia to buy some cars. It just ain't that hard to find. You just get on 95 and jump over on 85, 40 to 52. It's easy.
Right.
I know where it's at, man. It's just kind of.
I know that. I'm just picking at you.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people come from your area.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm sure once I go down there, I'm going to want to keep coming back because I tell you, I've heard all kinds of good stories about
I know.
it.
I mean, it's crazy how many y'all pack in there every week. I mean, and people all around all these local short tracks are trying to duplicate that somehow, some way, and that place just tends. I mean, I've seen pictures and the people that packs in there. It's just mind-boggling how y'all do it every week.
Well, for $10, they know that Chris Fleming's gonna make some shit happen. So, you can't. You go to the cinema and you go in. It's $12. Get popcorn. It's $12. You get a drink. It's $12. And you done spent all your money, and you ain't got nothing to talk about. You come to Bowman Gray Stadium, we're gonna give you something to talk about, probably for more than a week.
Yeah.
Well, I hear the show at Bowman Gray is better than the racing.
It gets pretty wild down there from time to time. But at my age, I'm really sick of all the drama. I don't want my kids fighting, and
That's right.
I've been in a couple. I ain't gonna say I ain't because I have, and I've been took out on the green-white checkered, and a couple of times, and you get sick of it, and if you just keep letting them do it, they just keep on doing it. So
That's right.
you gotta sooner or later you gotta take care of it, because the fact of it is Gray ain't gonna do nothing because he knows that we gonna take care of it. So the fans, they pack that place every week, and there's so many people. You think about it. Now I'm being serious now, and I like to have a good time with you guys because y'all crazy too. But the fact of it is, I'm in the car business. I know. Our economy's in terrible shape.
Yes.
Yeah.
People are working. They're working 60 and 70 hours a week. They're facing huge bills. My health insurance is $13,000 deductible. It's $1,000 a month.
It's crazy, ain't it?
And I make a good living. I couldn't imagine how some of these people are getting by. But think about this. They need something in their life that is going to give them where they can get to the drivers, where they can, be a part of something that's, on Saturday night, it just gives them something to do.
Yep.
And $10 to get in. Half the time it's ladies' night. The kids are about $1. And, you know, the fans love it. And, you know, they know if they come there that, you know, me and Brown and the Jeffries and, you know, Junior Miller, we're going to give them something to talk about. And that's why the place is packed every week. You know, I've got people that drive from Fayetteville. I got one, I don't recall his name, but one of the head guys in the State Bureau of Investigations in Virginia. He's right there in Richmond, Virginia. I see him at least 5 times a year, and every time he comes by, he hands me $100.
Dang.
You know, people come from everywhere. Last week it was Michigan. You just never know where people they're going to come from, and they come to my car, and you know, they say we want to be a part of this. We wish we lived here.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the place, and the rivalries go on for generations. You know, it's my kids are racing. It just goes on. You know, my son now has had, you know, he's got a son who will probably race at Bowman Gray Stadium. The boy that's won 2 of the sportsman races this year, he's a 3rd generation driver at Bowman Gray. His grandpa was a prominent car owner there for years, and you know, it just don't stop. It just keeps going.
Well, I can't wait to get down there. I know that. I want to come down and be a part of it too, because it sounds like it's a lot of fun. It sounds like what racing is supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
Chris,
it's you know, we take our racing very serious. You know, I've been in the shop. I work 70, 80 hours a week on my job. I come home. I go to the race shop. I work, you know, tonight I'm working on my son's limited sportsman car. The modifieds, of course, we got rained out Saturday night. All we done was unloaded them. They'll go right back in the truck. But, you know, it gives me some time to work on Jordan's car some. His chassis, we got his chassis off, and, you know, it gives me some time now that I ain't driving every week to, you know, to help him. And Jordan's always wound up just getting what was left because we focus so much on Luke, you know, and ourselves, which, you know, we're all well sponsored because there's so many people there at Bowman Gray.
Yeah.
And, you know, bad as I hate to say it, you know, we probably give Jordan just you know, he's just got a bad rap, and he's probably the best Fleming driver in the family. So, you know, we need to work with him some and give him a chance to, you know, blossom.
well, then, you know, he'll be looking to take your ride for long.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what, Jack, it's the hardest thing I ever done to try to quit racing. You know, I got so many people, you know, I got so many friends. It breaks my heart not to go down there. You know, even with all the rivalries and all this stuff, I care about every driver down there.
Yeah.
If anybody needed me, they know they can call me. Most of the time, when somebody breaks something, they come to mine and Frank's truck. You know, we basically help everybody there, but, you know, we live, you know, a little, I don't know if you've, you know, we race on the tour with Jeremy Grusner, and he raced the first race at Bowman Gray, and his son has a CP. And we love that little boy.
Yeah.
They just went and they had an operation, and he's walking. It's amazing what we've seen, the miracles we've seen. And, you know, you live through these other families. You watch these kids go up at the track, and even though there's big, huge rivalries at Bowman Gray Stadium, it's still a close-knit family that, you know, we really, in the grand scheme of things, we really look after each other.
Well, Chris, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on the win. Now, when I come down there, you're going to have to win again, and I promise you won't be in a walker by the time I get there.
Well, you told me that before, Jack. You know, I've got a real good car, and, you know, I think I'm going to win again. I'm only going to run 4 more times this year, but I'm pretty sure that my car's going to win again. So, yeah, I would love to have you down. If you'll call me and let me know you're coming, hell, you can even bring Scott.
Well,
I appreciate that, Chris.
Do I have to?
You don't have to, but I mean, you can bring him.
Well.
So, hey, you wait till you talk to the Robbins girl next week. I'm telling you, the girl's talented. She, and I want to tell you something. Her dad will spend the money too. He don't care. He works his butt off. They don't put the little girls in the front.
All right. Well, we'll see you down soon, hopefully, and it's good talking with you.
All right, buddy. See you now.
All right, now.
Thanks.
Bye.
Right.
Chris Fleming's the showstopper. Chris is always a great time.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what, he's fun as I don't know what. And we got to go to Bowman Gray one time when he's racing, because I mean,
and you know he'll put a little extra show on for us.
Yeah, really.
Call from.
Good evening and welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News. This Frank?
Yep, that's Frank.
How you doing, Frank? Good to talk to you, man.
Doing pretty good, man. How are you?
We're hanging in there. We're just sitting around talking trash about everybody.
I see. I'm watching live on here. I got it.
Well, don't take everything Chris said as factual. But
so, Frank, how did you get started into racing? It was kind of funny. I was told a couple of people that we were talking to you at VIR, man, and I love the Rick Godovic stories, man. I have laughed for weeks over those. But some of the people come along today don't know who Frank Deiny is, and that kind of surprised me. I'm like, you don't know who Frank Deiny is?
Yeah, I mean, that's the younger generation. You know, it's racing is all about what have you done lately. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But what all are you into now? Now you build cars and everything, and you have cars that you rent out or whatever to people. But what else are you doing?
Right now, actually, I stopped my rental program.
Okay.
I'm doing just driver coaching and spotting mainly. So I'm doing on the K&N West, I do Grayson Raz's program.
Okay.
And then on the K&N East, I've been doing some stuff with Rick Godovic and PPM over there. Been having some fun doing that. And then a spot for Brandon Godovic on the Xfinity Series. So been busy doing all that. And then do shock work on during the week. You know, got some stuff, some customers in California and Vegas and a few places around here.
So do you go out on the West Coast a lot and do some, I mean, I know Grayson and Noah Graxon do a lot of racing out at the Bull Ring in Vegas. Do you go out there a lot to see them race out there?
Mainly right now we've been doing the K&N program with them. I've done a couple of super late model races with them as well, but now that the K&N series is going, here lately I've been, when I'm not at a West race, I'm at an East race. So it's been busy kind of week to week on doing those right now.
Okay, so how did you get started in the racing in the beginning?
It's kind of a funny story. My dad raced. My mom's dad raced.
Okay.
I was playing with my Hot Wheels at 3 years old. And my dad asked me if I wanted to drive the Hot Wheel, and next thing you know, I'm running a quarter midget around Dodger Stadium, and then it started from there, and I liked it and just kept on going.
Now I think you were kind of the first one that really started the kind of rental program there. Was anybody else doing that, or was that just kind of you in the beginning?
I want to say it was us. I don't think Sellers had started yet.
Yeah, I don't
when we
think
were
so.
doing it. And then they just slowly started going. I think most everybody thought we were getting rich, so they thought they needed to do it too. But the cool part is I sold out, and there's a lot of them are still doing it. So
Joke's on them, right?
Yeah, I actually enjoy the driver coaching part of it and everything. We had gotten so big. I mean, we were building race cars. We had 4 late model teams going up down the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
We had 9 employees. I mean, we just gotten pretty big. And when the economy started sliding, I started bailing just because it was, we deal with, guys wanting to obviously rent, full time for a year. But people were signing later and later end of the year, you're looking at 9 families sitting there staring at you on a Friday if you don't have, all 4 cars rented, it gets a little rough. So
Right.
that was kind of the deal, whereas now with driver coaching and spotting, I'm all over. Like, I think last Thursday I was at Dominion with PPM, and then Friday I was in California in San Bernardino in Orange County, or Orange Show, spotting Friday and Saturday. So I'm able to travel a lot more and don't have to worry about, are my guys doing okay with the teams this week type thing,
Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about payroll on Friday.
You got it. You got it.
One of the interesting things I remember about you, though, is at Martinsville one year, I went up there, and my son was helping Travis Miller. And I think you rented a car to Travis and his family to run at Martinsville. And he tore it all up in one of the heat races. And I was thinking that guy, he took a hit right there.
I'm sure there was a clause in there.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, we offered several different ways. We had some programs that were non-crash clause. We had some that were crash clause. It just really depended on what they wanted to sign up for when they got going. But yeah, Travis, he had quite a bit of damage that day. That's for sure.
You got that right. But look, how did you end up back on the East Coast? I mean, you're a West Coast guy. How did you end up on the East Coast?
Well, when racing started getting bigger back in the day, we shall say, I moved out here because if you wanted to be a race car driver, you moved to the East Coast. If you wanted to be a movie star, you moved to California. So wasn't really interested in being a movie star. So I came out here and tried to make it, and had just kind of missed my window. I mean, when I was coming up trying to get in, I was too young. That was the big thing back then. Is you were too young. You had to be in your 30s to get in which is now an Xfinity car, but back then a Busch car. That was kind of what they were looking for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I got into my 30s, and then I was too old. Mm-hmm. You had to be young. That was the whole deal. I kind of missed my whole.
Damn Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, when Jeff Gordon hadn't gotten where he was running good enough yet when I was trying to get in at first, So, it's just one of those situations, It's just kind of, and life is all about timing, You got to be in the right place at the right time. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the right place at the right time to get further along. I mean, I did some K&N stuff and some Southwest Tour stuff, and went and tested a Xfinity car a couple times, and got a truck start, but never really got to get too far going, which is a shame, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is kind of, you were too young at one point, and then when you got to the age, you thought it went the other direction.
Yeah.
But look,
it was unfortunate, but it's just all timing.
But look, in this day and time, you being a driver coach and a spotter, you see a lot of things probably with the K&N series and out there with Grayson and all that. You probably see that a lot, and I'm not talking about Grayson or Noah or any of those guys. I'm talking about some of the other people. That talent doesn't. You can be young, but talent don't have a lot to do with it. Except if you got the money, you got to ride.
Well, now you're starting to understand how I missed my window. I'll give you a quick story on that. I finally made it to where I had some car owners believing in me to be able to run in the Busch Series back then. I was in my car with my helmet and everything on the way to the racetrack, and I got called and told to turn around because so-and-so had bought the ride for that weekend.
Oh.
So I turned around. Well, that happened about 3 or 4 times, and then lo and behold, we started renting cars. So that was the reason why we started renting cars, because I was like, well, I've always felt like you need to take whatever is a negative in your life and make it a positive. So we started renting cars because I felt like, well, if people are taking rides away from me, maybe I can supply some rides for some other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was kind of how it started. And we met a lot of great people through it, and had a lot of fun, and won some championships and a bunch of races. And but yeah, it's time for me to write a check to drive. It just didn't quite work out.
Yeah. Now, tell me the standard question. Now, you get to see both the K&N East and the K&N West. And the standard question I ask the K&N West guys and the K&N East guys is the difference between the two narrowing any? Because at one time, it seemed like the East guys were pretty much dominant over the West guys whenever they run the companion races or whatever. But now it seems to be going the other way a little bit. Do you see a big difference in the two?
The biggest thing I see is like I said earlier, you want to be a race car driver, you need to move east, and that's kind of a still today is a thought, I guess I should say. So everybody always thinks that the east is better, but as Brandon McReynolds proved last year at Iowa, he was running in the West Series, and he won both Iowas when both the East and West went to Iowa last year, and he won both of them, which I was so happy for, because at the time I was working for an East Coast team, and I was so tired of hearing how much better the East Coast guys were than the West Coast. And then the West Coast guy came out and whipped our butts, and that was awesome. That was great. But that also showed those guys on the West are very talented at what they do as well. The difference, I would say, is the field is a little bit deeper on the East, as far as you have more top teams on the East than what you do the West. You have a little bit more car count on the East than you do the West. But your top teams, regardless of which one, if it's an East or a West Coast team now, they're a top team regardless. So when they all go to Iowa, they all meet if they could all meet somewhere that nobody has an advantage like Iowa, and maybe a couple short tracks, I think we would see a really good show. I liked when I ran in the Pro Cup Series, and we had the North and the South, and then at the end of the year, we all got together and ran together.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was pretty serious, because I mean, you have a lot of talent from the North and the South. That's kind of what I look at now is the East and the West. I'd say your top guys are your top guys. Like Gilliland, he ran really well on the West, and he's won some East races as well. I think he won New Smyrna, and I think he won, or he was running well at Bristol or something. But my point is, it's about equal now.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that so many times, and I figured somebody like you would know if that gap was, and it looked to me like it's narrowing a lot in that regard.
Yeah, and I think we've learned at VIR that Frank will say what's on his mind.
Even about.
Oh yeah. I think that's another reason why I driver coach in spots. I'm not racing on Sunday.
I can't tell you how much I have laughed over some of those stories.
Yeah, that's the one thing. It's I've got a lot of stories. I've had a lot of fun in racing and met so many great people. And I'm still having fun. I'm working with some great teams right now, and I enjoy going to work, and that's something a lot of people I don't think can say.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
That's
exactly
very
true.
Well, Frank, we appreciate your time tonight. We didn't get in on Rick too much, but we'll do that next time we talk.
Yeah, no, we gotta have you back because you have a different perspective of the sport. Racing in it and spotting, and you've done a lot. I mean, you're kind of. I mean, I don't know if you. I'm sure you probably do. You're a big deal in the sport, honestly.
I appreciate that. I like to think so anyway, in my own mind at least.
Well,
I do too about myself, but Jack brings me back to reality sometimes.
Well, I thought you were the real deal because I know you ran at Southampton some when I was racing out there, and
he didn't even know who you were.
No, he didn't know who I was. No, they ran the infield. I was on the outside. I was on the back side over there bringing my car out of the back way.
I'd have loved to hear what he told you instead of Rick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Southampton, that was a good time. That was, I think that year, I was running for 4 different teams. So yeah, that was definitely a highlight. That was an enjoyable time.
Yeah, that was you were the good guy out there. There wasn't no doubt about that. Anyway, well, we appreciate your time tonight. Yeah. We'll get you back on here real soon, and next time we'll spend all night talking about Rick.
That'll work. Sounds good to me.
All right, man. Talk to you later. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
No. Danny?
Hello?
Hey, Danny. I'm sorry. I don't know how to work this thing good yet.
Old people problems.
You still there?
You want that?
I said,
I got you.
okay. I'm having a hard time dealing with this thing, switching phones around and everything. And he said something about old folks. I'm not an old folk.
No, he is an old folk.
Well, Danny, congratulations on the win the other week at South Boston. And give us a little background on Danny Willis. I remember you used to race in the late models at one time.
Yeah, when I initially started racing back in 1999, I drove for Drew Fallon, which many people already know him. He was in racing for a long time, and his grandson still racing, Austin Paxton. So I started driving for him in an old car he had. We just pieced together, and he let me use, just to get some seat time. And we started out in late model, and I ran 2 seasons in late model, just trying to survive and get the best finishes we could. And wound up, I left him and went to drive for Thomas Hall, and we run probably 2 or 3 seasons in late model, but it was kind of hit and miss, dealing with money, just didn't have the finance in the back like we needed it. So we just hit and missed a few races through for about 2 or 3 years there, and then finally in 2005 I went on my own and decided to buy a limited car and started racing limited late model in South Boston, and had been racing there all the way up till last year. Last year was my last year limited, and kind of they thought about giving it up, because I really couldn't afford to run late model with the guys because it's just so much difference in the money, the expense there. And with the 2-tire rule this year, it helped out a little bit, and the way they've done things, kind of helped out. So I said we give it a shot and try to run some, and didn't really think we were far off as good as we did. We was hoping to be a top 10 car and just be right there with the guys and try to be competitive. And from the first race of the season, we fired off and was right around the top 5 car, and we just been messing with it, getting a little bit better and better each week, and finally hit up on it the last race there, and was able to pull off a win.
And it's got to be good for you now that you're into this and back in late models. It seems like South Boston with the 2-tire rule and everything they've got going on, and you're there now in the late models. That's got to be a big benefit because you did the 2-tire rule last year in limited, right?
Yeah, we did. Pretty much ever since I've been running limited, we was on a 2-tire rule deal, and a lot of you short tracks now with the limited class, they either on a 2-tire rule or either they're on a 1-tire rule, and just to try to keep the cost down for the guys, because the expenses so high there, and I don't know if it's really an advantage. You got races distance some of the best in the short track racing across the United States here, and it don't take long for these guys to figure out what they need to do, and we've been racing, with Pulliam, Sellers, and Daxton, and Mark Works. He's been really strong, and his qualifying hasn't been like he wanted, but he's been to the rear, I think, for the last 2 weeks and made it back to the top 5. So that shows how competitive he is, and like Matt Bowman and guys, they got the financing and resources that we really can't get because we don't have the financing to get it, and to be able to run with them guys is just an honor, and can't thank my guys enough for what they have done for me, and for what we got to work with, and to be able to run up front with them guys it's amazing to us, and can't take it for granted, but we're gonna keep digging and trying to keep getting the best finishes we can, and maybe we can pull off another win for the year's over.
So you think the 2-tire rule there has tightened the competition up?
I do, because a lot of guys, like, a lot of front runners lead, some of the guys that got more finances than others behind them, they could go over there and buy 4 practice tires and, then buy 4 race tires, which, including myself, I couldn't do that. I wouldn't be able to buy 4 practice tires every race, and, to be able to run with them guys, you about got to
right.
mark what they're doing, to keep up with them, and I think it helped out a lot of low budget teams this year because if you do buy 2 practice tires, you ain't buying but 4 tires for the whole day, so it really helps out a lot, and I think it helped on that point of it, and it kind of equals the playing field out because everybody's got 2 scuffs on for the next race, and just depends on how bad you abused your tires the race before, or like some people, if they have a tire get messed up, they got to get a tire scuff pile. So, it might be to their advantage, or it might be to a disadvantage to them. So I think it kind of equals things out a little bit, and
yeah, I think it's
I don't see it for a limited guy really having an advantage over it, but it probably helps a little bit that we've run on them so long, and kind of know how we need to do to work with them. So.
Yeah, I think it's made the racing better. I know there were a few years back that Lee had pretty much dominated and killed the show, but I think it's brung the competition closer. I think it's made it better for I'd put you in my category that couldn't afford to keep up with the Joneses. It kind of levels the playing field, and probably you might have a little bit of an advantage because you've done it the last few years. And I know some of the guys, the front runner guys that we had on a few weeks ago, I can't remember if it was Lee or who, that said that you guys probably will have an advantage because you guys have been doing this 2-tire rule for a few years.
Yeah, I think we might have a little advantage, but like Bobby McCarty, he's been limited for a couple of years there, so he ought to know, what to do with the tires. And Austin Jackson, he's been limited for a while, and Matt Bowman, when he first started racing, he was limited. So, guys like that, they should be familiar with it. And I know they've been on 4 tires for a long time now, so things have changed over the years. So, but if it's an advantage to us, we're gonna hold on to it as long as we can, and hopefully we can stay ahead of these guys. But
that's
I
right.
know them guys are hard at work, doing what they can do to get back up front, and we're gonna try to do the same thing and see if we can stay competitive with these guys all year, and maybe try to get us another win for the years out.
How aware are you, Danny, when you're racing? Are you aware of the tires and whether you know how far to push them and at what point to push it? How aware of are you of that?
Well, it just depends on how hard the guys are racing around you. We run more laps in late model than we did in limited. Most of the limited shows run for 50 laps, and we run anywhere between 75 to 100 in late model. So, if you can get a hold, a couple races we got a hold to ride in where we didn't have no pressure, so we just kind of rode and took it easy to try to save the tires, knowing that we would have a caution at the end of the race. So I think that helps out a little bit, but if you got guys racing you hard the whole night, if you want to stay up there with them, you just have to dig with them and just hope your tires will stick with you, and the setup on the car is going to be there at the end, and it's just a kind of hit and miss game there, just depending on what the guy around you's trying to do and what you think your car is going to be capable of doing by the end of the race. So, like the last race, the way it looked, we made the first 10 laps, I think it was, and McCarty, he come out of nowhere like a rocket, and he wound up getting by us, and, I just kind of tried to take it easy, and he was stretching it on out for us, from us, and I didn't even, I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm going to have nothing for him or not, and by the end of the race, it looked like my car got a little better, it looked like his got a little worse, and we was able to get on by him by the end, and was able to pull away from him right there at the end, but it's just, I don't know if maybe he pushed it too hard right there at the beginning and burnt his up, or, I think he had to get a scuff tire too, so that might have bit him a little bit. You never know, but it's just, I don't say it's a mind game, but the thing that you just got to keep your eye on, you don't want to abuse them too bad.
Yeah, I could see where, you got to play the game a little bit because you got to have the tires for the next week too, so it's got to be tough. Now, out at South Boston this year with Langley not open and the car count at South Boston is huge. What's it like out there with all these cars at South Boston now? The competition's got to be over the roof.
It is, I tell you. Racing with this many cars every week is like going to a big race every weekend. Normally, South Boston the last couple of years has had between 10 to 15 late models on a good night, and this year with the tire cost, and I think, upping the price from, from 10th to last or whatever, I think helped out a lot too, because, if you can finish last in the final lap race, and that's buying your 2 tires back for you, so, you don't have much cost there. So I think that's helped her out a lot, and, the competition has been unreal, because any weekend it looks like it could be at least 10 guys that can win the race, and the competition-wise has been unreal. There's been a lot of fender rubbing and people going on, so hopefully fans are getting the money worth out of this year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of different winners too. It's not like somebody's come out and just dominated it.
No, I think Matt Bowman, he done won 4 this year, and we got 1. I think maybe McCarty got 1, and maybe Austin's got 1 or 2, and Peyton Sellers, he's been there, and Lee, he's been up front, and he just hasn't had he has the luck on his side this year. I mean, it's like any given weekend, it could be whoever win a race, and that's what, it's exciting in the car, and I'm pretty sure it's got to be exciting for the fans, it's kind of racing.
Yeah,
it's the only field I think is good racing from what everybody's telling me, so,
No, it's definitely been good racing. We went up there for the first race and watching, I think it was CE and Lee there fighting for the lead and wrecking, and you didn't know who was going to win the race the last 10 laps.
Yeah, no, you didn't. We were right there in the mix with them, kind of riding back up about 5 or 6, and, you just didn't know when it was going to happen, and, the way they were driving each other, was kind of amazing watching boys do that, and, we were just trying to sit down in the better seat, and hopefully we could get us out a good finish, whatever the outcome was going to be, and, like I said, the fans all be getting their money's worth this year for racing. One race over there, the guys won 4 wides for the lead, so that's unreal to see at South Boston Speedway.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, I don't think you'd have ever thought if you'd have went out to start the season out this year that you would have a win and Lee Pulliam wouldn't. That's got to that's got to be in your mind too. That hey, I'm doing pretty decent.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, we thought coming out in this start of the season, we just want to be a top 10 car and try to be competitive with the guys, and to be able to run in the top 5 every week and finally get the win. I think we got 2 poles now and 1 win, and it's pretty awesome, to be able to do that against the competition we're racing against, and to be able to run with Lee, he's 3-time national champion, and I don't know how many races he won, but he won a slew of races, and to be able to run with him is an honor, and all the other guys too. It's pretty awesome to be able to run with them guys and run fenders with them, and hopefully we can keep doing it the rest of the year. Stay up there with them guys, and like I said, maybe try to get us another win for the year's over with.
Well, Danny, give your sponsors a shout out and everybody that helps you out and everything, and we'll hopefully get you back on here real soon when you get another win.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it won't be too long. Our next race is June 4th, so maybe we can get twins in right, so maybe we can pick a win out of them twins, or maybe get both of them. So hopefully we can hunt for it, but I couldn't do it at all the great guys that got backing us. Garner Marsh, Miller Insurance Agency, Real Recall Port Sales, Beachfront Window Cleaning, they're out of Virginia Beach, so down y'all's way. So if y'all need the window cleaning, hook up Beachfront Window Cleaning, and who else we got? We got CEG Home Construction, can't thank them enough, and all the guys on the crew for everything they do for me. Clint Hazelwood, Michael Womack, Chris Clark, Harold Carmichael, Johnny Ratliff, Jim Brenner. I can't thank all of these guys enough for the time and effort they put in. Everybody that works in this car is volunteer, and all of us work 40-hour-a-week jobs and just work on the car at night, so can't thank all these guys enough.
All right, well, we appreciate your time tonight, Danny. We'll get you back on real soon, and good luck to you in the coming races on June 4th.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me on.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
There's been some good racing out there this year, just from us going out there earlier in the season and what they got going on now.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can get Stefan back on.
Yep.
Yeah, there he is. Welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News with Scott Allen. Is this Stefan?
This is Stefan, yeah.
Stefan? Okay, well, I done screwed up. I done screwed up before I got started good.
That ain't the first time he screwed up.
How's everything down your way?
Good, how's you?
We're doing pretty good. Give us a little background on Stefan Parsons and what all he's been up to and how he got started in racing.
Well, my dad obviously has been around racing his whole life, and he's been racing ever since I was little. So I just felt like it was kind of what I always wanted to do. I started racing Bangladesh in 2010. Eventually made it up to legend cars, and now I'm racing late models.
Now that's and now you're running the car series too, right?
Yes, sir. And NASCAR wheel on American Series.
Okay, where do you run on that at?
So
do you race
next week? Do I? I'm sorry.
Do you race in Hickory or somewhere like that in the late models?
So we race all over this year so far. We've raced at Southern National, Orange County, Hickory, Motor Mile, and we're actually racing at, I think, Greenville this weekend in South Carolina. So we kind of race all over the Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina.
All right, is this your team? I mean, is this your family team, or are you driving for somebody? Or what's the deal there?
I'm driving for it's my car. I'm the car, and Brian and Bob Keselowski are actually the crew chiefs. And they've, I just can't talk enough about how amazing they've been and the improvement we've seen ever since we've started working with them.
Mm-hmm. Now, tell us a little bit now how you got hooked up with Phoenix Construction. I saw that on one of your cars. Tell us a little bit about that, because I know James Finch real well, and I know all those people down there. And how you get hooked up with them?
Well, James and my dad have been friends for a long time, because they've both been around racing for years. And James is just helping out. He's a great guy. I've known him almost my whole life, and he helps us out a lot. And I can't talk enough about how much I appreciate him and being construction helping us out.
So how is your season going in the car series? How is that going this year?
It's been up and down. We've been fast everywhere we went. I qualified 7th Southern National, qualified 2nd at Orange County, but we just had a lot of bad luck. Like Southern National, we were running, I think 5th or 6th. Probably should have finished in the top 5 in the seal. Busted it back a transmission, all transmission fluid came out, so that was tough. And then Orange County, we qualified 2nd. And then somebody got into my left rear and knocked the valve stem out, so left rear tire went down and got the fence, and that was a tough break. And it's been a lot of that, honestly, a lot of kind of tough breaks, bad luck. But, I feel like we're turning around. 2 weekends ago, Motor Mile, we finished 5th. I feel like we're kind of starting to turn the luck around.
How much do you feed off of what Brian Keselowski? Brian's got a lot of experience. He's done a lot of things in racing. How do you feed off of him, and do you go to him and get a lot of knowledge from him as far as going to some of these tracks?
Oh, absolutely. Brian's been around just like me. He's been around racing his whole life. His dad's the ARC champion. Raced ARC race trucks for a long time, and Brian's been racing himself. For I don't even know how many years, probably 15 or 20 years. So he gets it, and when you have people like Brian and Bob and even my dad, it's just there's so much knowledge in between them that it's really helpful just to have them there, because they get it, they understand, and they can tell by what you do on the track, and they can see things that you may not be able to pick up yourself, and it's just it's a big help.
Well, now, how much time does your dad spend around the team? Does he spot for you, or is he around the team, or as much as he can be?
As much as he can be. It's kind of hard sometimes because he commentates for Fox for the truck races. So there are a lot of times when his schedule conflicts with mine. He can't come to track. Whenever he does come to track, he's just he's just a big help. He's just there for me whenever I need him. He kind of he doesn't exactly take a hands-off approach, because I think it's better for him to help me, because he is a big help. He's been on it his whole life as well. So it's just about using the knowledge that he gives me and using it to my advantage.
So what's your favorite track?
I'm sorry.
What's your favorite track so far that you like?
I really like Orange County just because of the fact that it has multiple grooves. You can run the bottom, top, middle, and they're all kind of comparable. And I think it creates a great racing racetrack. There's a lot of great racing.
Stefan, having the name Parsons, in the history of the Parsons family. That's got to be something big that you want to accomplish things. How is it to be a part of the Parsons family and be able to do what you're doing?
Oh, it's big. You have my dad, and he has a lot of connections in the sport, and then obviously my Uncle Benny, who was, he was just one of the favorites in the garage area. But it's cool to have the last name, but at the same time, you want to make a name for yourself, kind of like John Hunter has done with Deiny and Chase has done. So obviously the name's there, but you want at the same time you want to make a name for yourself and not just be known as so and so's son, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It definitely makes sense.
Now, do you feel you get treated like it's kind of like a double-edged sword so far as the last name? We had Robbie Allison on a few months ago, and I was kind of talking to him, and it was like a double-edged sword. In some ways, it helps with sponsorship and media outlets, but in other ways, when you get to the racetrack, everybody sort of can feel like they're against you because they feel like you have this sort of free ride, which in reality, it's not true.
Right. Like you said, it is a double-edged sword because, it helps to have, obviously, the connections that my dad has, for sure. But at the same time, I feel like, there's a little bit of added pressure, I feel like there's going to be more eyes on you. And as long as I think it's important to take advantage of that and, not let it affect you in a bad way, but in a positive way.
Yeah.
So what does your schedule look like for the rest of the year? Are you going to still be traveling around, or are you going to be trying to hit some of these big late model races?
Honestly, we're just kind of going week by week now, just seeing what track is running which weekend. Obviously the Cars Tour, the NASCAR Wheel and All America Series. We'll pretty much race whenever it doesn't conflict with Brian trying to make his ARCA deal work. So we're going to try to race a good amount, but we don't really have anything set in stone at the moment.
Now, are you looking towards like maybe the trucks or an Xfinity car?
It's too early to say at this point. There's obviously discussions, but there's nothing set in stone for this year. We haven't really discussed it that much. It'd be a great opportunity, obviously, but at the same time, we want to do it right, so we feel like we have a competitive chance. So.
Now, does your dad spot for you anytime?
No, he has before, but he hasn't this year. I've had Frank Kimmel's son, Frankie. He spotted for me, which he's a great guy. And then Chase Briscoe, the ARCA driver for Cunningham, he spotted for me too. So, my dad hasn't spotted for me. I don't know. I'm not sure if that would be a good thing or a bad thing. He gets very pumped up. So.
Right. Well, that was kind of like the next question, because sometimes that could be kind of a very tough deal. They get more excited in it. It just doesn't work as well sometimes.
Right.
So, who other than Phoenix Racing, Phoenix Construction, who else have you got for sponsors on your car and everything?
We're always looking for more partners, but right now it's just James is about only help. It'd be great to have more partnerships, more sponsorships on board. But I'm just trying to. I think at the same time, running well and being fast and coming up with good finishes will help us find more partners as well.
Now, how old are you?
I'm 17, about to turn 18 next month.
Oh, you're getting old.
You're right.
Yeah. Feel like an old man.
Yeah.
So, does James come around to some of your races, or have you not seen him around?
He mostly stays in Florida because he obviously has his construction company, but we're trying to get out to a couple races. He loves going to the Snowball Derby down in Pensacola, so it'd be really cool to figure something out to run that with him, but obviously that's however many months away. It's a long time in the future. But, we're trying to get him to come out to the race. We'll see.
It's probably a good idea, as young as he is, that he's not around as much.
Yeah, James.
Yeah, right.
James is a great guy. Don't get me wrong. He's a great guy, but he has his ways about him now. You got to be aware. You got to be aware of that.
I'd love to hang around with him.
As long as we have a red Solo Cup around.
Right.
Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna come right out and say that, but
And a couple of women.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, right.
Well, my son worked over at Phoenix Racing in Spartanburg, and I'm gonna tell you, I got to know James and all the people over there, and they're great people. They really enjoy it. They're racers, and that's what they want to be.
Right. Yeah. James is a racer. He understands it. He's been on it for a long time. He loves the sport for what it is, and loves being around racing.
Well, Stefan, we appreciate your time tonight. I know you got things going on. Hopefully, you're going to Greenville Pickens this weekend. I hope everything works out good down there for you. And we'll get you back on here real soon and talk to you again.
10-4. Thanks for having me.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Bud.
Thanks a lot.
Have a good night.
You too.
Guy.
Thanks.
Push the button on the bottom.
Don't do that on people on the camera.
He's a nice young kid. But it does have to be hard have a big name in
I'm
growing
sure
up in the
I'm sure
sport.
it is. And you think about it. He's got the Keselowskis. That's big names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your dad's a big name.
Mm-hmm.
And
Your Uncle Benny.
And then your Uncle Benny, who we hope tomorrow gets the word that he's going into the Hall of Fame. And
There's probably nobody more deserving.
Well, him, I'm kind of thinking him, and I would love to see Buddy Baker. I think it would be an honor.
They will get in.
Yeah, they'll
it's just
get
whether
in.
it's going to be this year or not.
But I think it's really, it's really sad that Buddy. I think he was really looking to be going to the Hall of Fame, and he wanted to be a part of that. Of course, he's not here anymore.
Yeah.
And of course, Betty's not here either, and I know his wife is really putting on a push to try to get him into the Hall of Fame and doing everything. And tomorrow's the vote, so we'll see what happens tomorrow afternoon, whether he gets in or not.
If he gets in, maybe we can get Phil on.
I would love to get Phil on here and talk to him about it. And I've even reached out to Terry to see if we could get her on here. That's Benny's wife, and try to get her on here and talk about it. But we'll just see what happens tomorrow.
You're talking one of the nicest guys in the garage.
Oh yeah, he was a lot of fun. I mean, I used to go to the races and see him walking around, and he was always.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, and he was always friendly. He was always, he'd always stop and he would make time to talk to you. So that was huge.
Kind of reminds you of the king walking through the garage and always took time. Didn't matter if he was in a hurry or not, and talked to everybody.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's see if I can get Ed on the phone here so we can talk about his thing going on this weekend. Somewhere. I know he sent me the number. There it is. What? You laughing at me again?
I never would laugh at you. Ed, pick up. Did you see that video I posted? I tagged you in?
How you doing? Welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News. Is this Ed?
Yeah, this is it. Hey, how are y'all this evening, Jack?
We're doing great. How's everything down your way?
Oh, man, things are doing great. We're down here in Concord, North Carolina, and everyone's getting prepared for the big 600 and the big event we're having this coming Friday.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. Tell everybody about it, because all of a sudden Scott and I have gotten really excited about it, so we can't wait to get there.
Well, we came up with the idea of holding our event at a different location this year, which will be at the Speedway Harley-Davidson on Bennington Avenue, and it's just off of Bruton Smith Boulevard prior to getting to the racetrack. We have 60-plus legends in racing, Hall of Famers and drivers, young and old, that will be signing autographs. We have multiple RCA recording artists that will be performing live. Also, lots of beach music celebrities that have top 10s on the charts that will be there. They'll also be performing and signing autographs at 40 to 50, maybe even more classic cars and motorcycles. So we're honoring our veterans as well, Jack. We're having a big commencement pre-show for the autograph event from 10 till 11, and we have a full color guard, honor guard, we have the Patriot Guard, military, congressional, U.S. congressional candidates that'll be there, and just an outpouring from the public has just been overwhelming, and also from all of the Sprint Cup teams donating items for our charities.
Well, that's cool. I mean, and that's a big deal that you're able to do that for the veterans, and you know that's what it's all about this weekend anyway, is the veterans and everything they've done for us. So I tip my hat to you, because you got a lot going on there.
It is. It's more than we expected. Jack, we really started out with an autograph event, and it wound up just escalating into an overwhelming event now. It's unprecedented. We now are the largest single sitting of racing personalities for an autograph event in the history of the Coca-Cola 600.
Ed, how did this all come about?
Well, it's we've worked on it diligently, and it escalated we started on it only 60 days ago, and then all of a sudden it just blossomed. The legends wanted to come, and Bob Hisson, thank him, from the Hall of Fame up there in Mooresville, he joined in with us, and we just put a committee together, and they just started coming from everywhere, wanting to pay tribute to the veterans this weekend.
Well, I think that's great that you were able to put. I mean, 60 days and put something together like this. I was thinking you probably been working on this all year, but that's something that's unbelievable.
It is, you know, and we thank God for it. I just want to make that perfectly clear, because it all started from a single prayer, and then it just escalated itself. So we know who's behind us. We've got a great weekend coming up. The weather's absolutely predicted to be beautiful. We're expecting more than 1,000 fans to come. Just an outpouring of military. We're expecting hundreds of military veterans, World War II, Vietnam, and so forth that are coming with the Patriot Guard.
Well, that's great, and I'm Scott and I were glad that we're able to go down and be a part of it this year, because when I found out, matter of fact, I didn't find out. I saw your note that you put on there, but I got the days mixed up. I didn't think it was this coming week, and then Scott and I were talking about it. I said, well, I'm going to talk to him and see what the deal is, and we appreciate that you're including us in on this. That's really great.
Absolutely. Well, Jack, we've been knowing you and listening to your show for quite some time ourselves, and we know that you guys do a good job, and thought that it would be an honor to have you and have you to come down and be with us. And you're more than welcome to come down and interview. All the Allisons will be there, and Rick White and his former 1956 crew chief. And I just can't. It's so many that I've never had time to put them all on the radio. Morgan Shepherd's going to be there, and his wife, and Jerry Nadeau, just a lot of the old timers. And we have a surprise. We have quite a few Cup drivers that are going to make unscheduled appearances as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you're going to have a good time with that, and we're going to have a good time being there. And I can't wait to be a part of that, because this seems to be something that's going to be great to honor the veterans and to be a part of the Coca-Cola 600 weekend.
Hey, Ed, and don't talk Jack up too much. He ain't that big of a deal.
We have to say what we feel. You guys do a great job, and it really is an honor having y'all coming out of Virginia Beach up there to come down and join us. To us, it's an honor, and to have that, we've got a full film crew coming. The entire event's going to be filmed not only from the ground, but it's going to be filmed from a drone as well.
Goodness, great. That's great.
Yeah. Well, if you want anybody to take up TV time, me and Jack, we like to talk.
Well, you know what? I'm quite sure we have Gary D. Walter. He's bringing his huge sound system. He's involved a lot with all the classic cars around here in a great capacity. He'll be there emceeing along with the famous Jim Shaper. He'll be there.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely, and we'll be taping the whole show. So yes, it'll be great to even get you guys up there and on that stage or out there in the audience interviewing drivers, and we'd like to shoot footage of y'all as well.
All right, well, we appreciate it, and we can't wait to be there. And I can't wait to come down and see you. I haven't never met you personally, but I'll be glad to see you and come down and be a part of it.
Well, I think the feeling is mutual. I know the feeling is mutual here, and from speaking with our colleagues, there's a lot of people that know you guys that never have an opportunity to meet you, even on the Facebook pages and the internet. So now you're going to have a chance, and they're going to have a chance to share some quality time together.
Well, we appreciate it. That means a lot to us, and we're going to come down and make you proud of what we can do down there for you, and whatever we can help you with.
We're glad to have you guys, and I'm just honored that you have a few minutes so we could plug for our veterans on your show tonight.
Oh, hey, we're going to do that.
That's not a problem. Yeah, anytime.
We'll do that anytime. All you got to do is just tell me if you got something going on, and we'll get you on here.
Yeah, you let me know anytime you need some of these. Francis Fox, he's going to be there. Deiny Parsons' wife is going to be there. Pat Allison, Deiny Allison's wife. We've got a lot of our ladies in racing that you're going to have an opportunity to meet and tell stories. And if you ever need them on your show, well, there's so many of them. We'll be glad to share them with you.
Oh, we're going to be, and I can't wait to find out what happens tomorrow with the Hall of Fame vote, because I hope Benny Parsons makes it into the Hall of Fame.
Well, I've been on my knees praying that he does make it in. I sent a message back to Terry Parsons on Facebook just earlier. I said, if Benny Parsons doesn't make it in, I'm not going to make it 20 years. I'm not going to retire in 20 years next year in NASCAR. I'm retired this year.
Well, I hope he does. I mean, I'm kind of the type of guy that would like to see the guys from that era, Buddy Baker and those guys, get into the Hall of Fame. I think it's bad, to me it's kind of sad that Buddy didn't get in before he passed away, but, that would have been great, and I want to see those guys get in the Hall of Fame.
They belong there long before a few that are in there, and I don't mind saying it publicly.
Well, I've said it too, and I've had Tiger Tom Pistone on here before, and he said it too. He thinks there should be some other guys too.
A whole lot of other guys.
Absolutely. I mean, you got Raymond Parks, you got Red Vine. I mean, how many Benny Parsons, Buddy Baker, Harry Hyde? There's so many that belong in there that certainly should have been in there long before other individuals that are in there. I guess we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, that's the best way to do it. Leave it alone. But that show that's been on CMT the last 3 Sundays.
I haven't got to watch that yet.
I think that's going to help in some regards to get some of these people. I think it's going to help push them along. It gave some people knowledge of these guys that a lot of people nowadays don't know about.
Right.
Yeah, that's true as well. They don't know a lot of the newer, I guess, newcomers or that such as our fans in racing. They're not acclimated to the old school drivers, and by golly, we're going to have them there. We got Brownie King that drove the convertible on the beaches of Daytona. So many, Whitey Norman. There's just going to be so many of our legends that are going to be there. First time they'll have a great opportunity to fans to really meet our true legends in racing.
Yeah. Well, Sam Bass is going to be there. We can't wait to meet him either.
Yeah, we've been talking with Sam. We had him on the show, and he is really cool. And I can't wait to get a chance to meet him and have a chance to talk personally with him.
I think that everyone wants to do that as well. We get a lot of response from the public, and the input that we've gotten so far is just been overwhelming about the list that we've shared out with the public. I'm excited, not for myself. I'm more excited for the fans because we started this program 5 years ago. We started with 6 drivers, and our original, what we wanted to do was break down the barriers, all of the wristbands, the cost, the fences between the fans, and we've broken that barrier. And now the fans have a chance where they can shake hands, they can talk, they have an opportunity to be with the drivers and the legends and the Hall of Famers without a fence in the way or a wristband on their arm.
That's kind of the old school way, Ed, you know?
It is the old school way, you know. Years ago we did that when I started in racing 20 years ago, and we always had an opportunity to meet the drivers, but it got to the point it became so commercial that you needed money, you need a wristband, or you can stick your little note through a fence or whatever. Well, I hold Jack Martin of Racing Plus and myself. We actually started the program 5 years ago, and now God has really blessed us well. Look where we are today, thanks to him.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, and we're gonna beef it up a little bit and tell people about it, and we're gonna promote it a little bit ourselves because we're gonna be down there and maybe we can get some of our people to come by.
Yeah. You think anybody will want to see us there?
I don't know.
You know what? There might be one too out there want to see you guys.
I'll have to get my son. He lives there in Concord. I'll have to get him to come out.
Yeah.
I know one or two myself. There's two of them sitting right here right now. But you know what, Jack, and you guys, I'm sure when you get there, it's going to be a delight for so many people to hear you, but never had the opportunity to see you as well as like our legends and so forth. So, yeah, we're looking forward to having you guys down, and we're honored that you're going to be able to come and be with us. And by the way, come on up into the front there. I've got your VIP parking.
All right, we'll do that. We appreciate it. Thank you a lot, and we'll talk it up, and we'll see you down there Friday morning.
Great, then. You guys have a blessed evening. Thank you to all the fans out there. Thank you for your show, Jack. You guys do an awesome job. We appreciate it. God bless. And Jack Martin said, drive careful coming down.
All right, we're going to do that. We appreciate it, and thanks a lot.
Okay, my friends. Y'all have a blessed evening.
You too now. Talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
I was going to tell him that we look better than we sound. Yeah, you see, you meet some DJs or radio personality, and they don't look anything like they sound.
I think we're going to be one of them. I think we might fit that category too.
Hey, look, before I get to laugh too much, did you see that video of the girl that put that damn mask on and got all this publicity?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I just thought about it when I started laughing. I was like, I can't stop laughing, but that just reminded me of that.
Yeah, and you talked about the video that you put up out earlier.
Yeah.
I saw it, and I didn't acknowledge it. You noticed that, right?
Did you watch it? That was funny as hell.
Yeah, it was funny. But I wasn't gonna say it.
It was like, bloody hell! It's a lady's red. The lady's red.
Is Clayton still with us? Clayton Fry, you still with us?
Clayton just posted. I turned this thing off, so I don't know.
Hey, Clayton, I just wanted to let you know before we sign off the air, I won last week. Okay, I'm in the lead again. So this week, Scott gets to pick first because he was last, and you were second again. You know what? You're going to be just as good as Kyle Larson for it's over.
Ooh! I was trying to see what Clayton put up there. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna stick with the Harvick.
Imagine that. He's going with Harvick. All right, Clayton, it's on you this time. Who you got? Who did he put up there?
I don't know. I was trying to pull it up here because I think it says won apparel over the weekend points. Our picks are gonna. Oh, he said the picks shouldn't count because it was a non-points race.
Okay, yeah, all right, whatever.
Scott, you got me back. Yeah, it shouldn't count. That win doesn't count because that was a non-points race. You'd be like Michael Waltrip for years.
Hey, Clayton, have we done the rules like I said the week before last? If you pick the winner of the race, if the winner of the race, you should get 2 points. But no, we're not going to play that, and you're not going to play this way.
Gary said he agrees with him.
Yeah, Gary would. All right, you got the 19.
I thought that was the 10 for a minute.
Oh, you want Danica? Clayton, you want Danica?
Actually, he's the defending champ of the 600.
All right, well, I'm gonna show y'all something here.
But are you going out on a limb this week?
Well, no, not totally out on a limb, but I'm going Kyle Busch.
That's what I mean. That's you going.
He's never won.
Are we going to have to put a limit on how many times you can pick the same driver?
I don't know. Would you want to talk? You want to talk about that with Harvick every week? Do you really want to go there?
I haven't picked him that many times.
I mean, you really want to force that issue here?
What did Gary say? It hasn't come up on my tablet yet. Gary said he's going with Martin Truex. His pick is a 78. I tell you what, man, Martin Truex has been on fire. He's got luck, terrible luck, about like Stefan's got.
Yeah.
That's what I started saying. You got the Truex luck, then.
So anyway, yeah, don't call him Stefan.
Yeah.
So that was my mistake. But see, that's what somebody else told me his name was.
Well, it's probably spelled the same, just said differently.
Well, I ain't gonna tell you who told me his name was Stefan. Anyway, all right. Well, what we got?
Clayton said you're a bandwagon.
Okay, whatever. He's never won at Charlotte before. What do you want me to say? I'm not on a bandwagon.
Oh, before we go, I want to give a shout out. I meant to do this in the beginning. Some people we raced with, Jody Weaver and Autumn Weaver. Her mom was
that's right, yeah.
Was the woman that was in that horrific, the motorcycle accident. Somebody made a, unsafe, they say, lane change, and they swerved to try to keep from getting hit, and she was thrown off the motorcycle and didn't survive. I'm not sure how old Autumn is. I think she's 12. I know they're... her and Jody are having a tough time, so I want to, thoughts and prayers for those guys. And they asked her if there's anything I could do. He said that she wanted a Kyle Busch autograph, so I intend on
delivering on that
this weekend. I'll get that taken care of for sure.
No, you got that right. And all our thoughts and prayers are with them, and wish them the best.
Mm-hmm.
All right, before we sign off, next week we're going to have, as I said, Taylor Robbins from Bowman Gray. She's going to be with us. That's going to be a big deal because she's the first woman to win a race at Bowman Gray.
And apparently,
Chris
says she's a good driver.
Yeah, Chris was very high on her, so she's got a lot of living up to do.
I don't know if that's because she can drive or because he says she's pretty.
Well, no, we ain't going to go there. We're also going to have Steve Barkdahl with us next week.
Well, okay. This could be interesting, huh?
Yeah. He's the guy that he does NASCAR marketing for Sherman Williams. Sherman Williams is involved with some teams or whatever, and he does the marketing for them. He's also the spotter on the 95 Circle Sport Levine Racing car with Michael McDowell. So we're going to have him on next weekend. Hopefully, if I can play my cards right, and I'm going to try again this week while we're down in Charlotte, I'm going to try to get, especially if Benny gets into the Hall of Fame, I want to get Terry on here. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be a good thing to do.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see you next week. We're off to Charlotte Friday morning, going down to Ed Heintz's
I don't know what you call it.
It's shindig down at the Speedway Harley Davidson place.
Speedway Harley Davidson. If you get off the interstate, go to the racetrack. It's about a block on the right.
If you've ever been to Iron Thunder, and some people need to know where Iron Thunder is. It's right there with Iron Thunder.
Pat's place. What's Pat's name?
Pat Rogers.
Pat Rogers. Who's going on Robertson?
No, not Pat. No. He wouldn't be going to Iron Thunder.
No. Pat's place is, and I'm sure he's helped putting it on. So thanks to those guys, and it's going to be a big event.
Yeah, it's going to be great to go down and meet these people because I've talked with Pat Rogers.
Can you believe they might let us talk over the PA or something?
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
I don't know. They can't be real smart.
Anyway, we're going to go see if we can get you one of those masks like that one had on.
Oh, I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one. That was funny. Thanks, Clayton. Oh, that's right. Gary says next week the Florence Flash will be back at South Carolina. That's right.
I'm glad he calls you the Florence Flash, too.
Joe? I don't know why you're thinking Jack. He ain't nobody. But thank you, Joe.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week. Have a good week. We're going to have one, and we'll talk to you later.
Oh, Lord. Here comes Danny. I just see his name.